We get a lot of requests to share our camping checklists. And yes, organization is key. First, RV life is supposed to be fun, so you want to make the packing as seamless and simple as possible. But also, it's no fun when you forget something super important. My mother-in-law always tells us about her first trip out in her brand new RV. Couldn't wait to unwind for the night, and what did she forget? Her wine opener. Needless to say, she had to get creative. So in this video, I'm going to provide you some quick tips for your RV checklist using one of my favorite apps. But let's start with the checklist I used for many years. It looks like this: basic clipboard, basic checklist, and a pen. So I started with this printable list. It has a few headings on it, and I've added many things to it over the years. So it has outdoor items, kitchen items, bathroom items. I tend to break everything down by the place where it's going. There's also a sleeping area and miscellaneous checklist. So of course, as I add something to the RV, June, don't worry, I'm not going to forget you. Sorry about that. So as I add something into the camper, I simply check it off, and anyone else who adds something to the camper will also check it off. So we kind of all work together on the same list. There at the bottom, there's a section for a few meal ideas. I just quickly write in what my meal ideas are at some point, and then I check it off once everything is in. No, I do not write each individual ingredient down. I just find that would take too much time. But if I know that, for example, one night I'm doing barbecue, I'll bring everything that I need for the barbecue. I also have a staple food section. So those are just the basic foods that I always bring with me, and you can actually see it right above that. So like milk, cereal, snacks, bread, spices, oils, things like that are always going to be loaded into the camper right away. And then on the last page, there's a column for each family member with each article of clothing that would be needed. And again, we just check it off as it's loaded. I used to have one column for all these, but it's much better to have one for each member of the family. You don't want to forget an important item for somebody. This list worked fantastic for our family for many years. The negative being that you have to print it each time that you leave to go camping. But I do want to show you an app that I actually love for this exact purpose. So you can really use any type of list app that you love, but I found this one to be the most simple with some pretty cool features, and I'm going to break it down for you right now. The app that I love is called AnyList. So there is a free version and a paid version, but you can do almost everything I'm going to show you on the free version. So it's that blue and white icon, and you can download it from either the Apple Store or the Play Store. Now, I've used this app for many years to store my recipes and create my grocery list, but now I use it for my camping list too. Once you enter the app, it looks like this. Make sure you are under the list section found at the bottom of the screen. If you hit the plus sign at the top, it gives you the option to create a folder. That's exactly what we're going to do together right now. So I'm going to name the folder Camping Checklist. And I told you there was a free version and a paid version. Making folders is one of the few things that you cannot do in the free version of the AnyList app. But don't worry, you can do the same thing I'm doing, just simply without making a folder. After you create any folder or any list, the app lets you add an icon to it. It makes it a lot easier to find the list that you're looking for. Now we're inside of the folder. Now we have the option to create lists inside of the folder. So I hit that plus button at the very top again. Here you can begin making each one of your lists or categories inside of the folder. So let's talk about all the parts on this page. First, you type in the name of your list. Next, you have the option to pick your list type. Leave it on the default list type, which is categories. Next, pick your icon and your theme. So I am not changing the theme in this video, but you certainly can. I definitely want to change the icon. It helps me find my list. And then underneath that, it gives you a few options to control your list using an Alexa or Siri. So that's great if you want to voice your commands. I called this first list Kitchen and Living Checklist or items. And the reason I did that is because in my RV, this is mostly one space. As soon as I hit done, it brings me right into the list and I can start adding the items that I want to add. So for the rest of this list, it's as simple as typing the item that I want to remember and then clicking the word done. And then you can see the list is slowly growing with all the things that I would use in both my kitchen and living area. So I sped up the video a little bit here to get through the first list, but don't worry, I will be sharing the full list that I use in the description of the video. Once you've added everything that you want to add, simply click the back button to go back to your folder. And now you're ready to add a new category or a new list to your camping folder. So here I'm going to add another list called bathroom items. And of course I'm going to change the icon. Click done on your list and then you can start adding items into this list. Here I just want to take a moment to show you one really cool feature to keep your list even more organized. Underneath each item that you add in blue letters are the words tap to add a note. If you click on that, you'll get a bunch more options for adding details to any item. For example, you can add a photo to the item, tell what category the item should be in, the quantity of the item, and a few other options that we won't use today. So here I'm going to click on the category so that I can change the category that this item is under within the same list. So this is a cleaning product, so I'm going to add a new category called cleaning products and add that item directly to that category. Now, if I head back to my list, I'll be able to see that toilet cleaner brushes is under its own special category called cleaning products. I can go along and add any other products that I want or any other items to that same category. It's time to create a new list, and I bet by now you're becoming an expert. Click the plus sign at the top of the page, add a new list, and get started adding items. Here I'm going to slow the video down to show you a little trick. I just finished creating a list for my oldest child with everything on that list that he will need for a trip. Instead of recreating that same list for my younger child, adding one item at a time, I can simply duplicate it by clicking on the three dots next to the list and then clicking on the word duplicated. Now I'm going to rename the list and of course give it its very own emoji. The list is looking beautiful and I absolutely love organization. So let me show you one more thing about your camping checklist regardless of what type of app or piece of paper you use for the list. I have a separate list called Always On Board. These are the things that I keep in my camper at all times. Honestly, it has been such a lifesaver keeping separate items in the RV at all times. So this takes time and it happens over many years, but eventually if your RV is fully stocked, it makes packing days so much easier. I have a separate set of towels, extra tubware, pots, pans, beachwear, even a hairbrush that just stays inside the camper at all times. Every item that's already packed is one less thing that you're loading and unloading each time you go away. I did try to add all those items to this particular list called Always On Board, just so that I can quickly look and make sure that I didn't take something out to wash it and forget to put it back in, or it was removed for some reason. So it's just nice to have this list of everything that's accounted for in the camper. So here my list is 100% done and it's time to start packing. As you load, simply tap the item and the item will get crossed out. I prefer when the item disappears altogether, and you can choose that option by choosing the icon in the top right that looks like an eye. If you click on that, now you touch the item and it disappears. Don't worry, I'll show you how to get the items back. Once you are done packing, your list will be empty. Next time you are ready to load again, simply click on the 3 dots at the top right, then choose Uncross All Items, confirm on the pop-up window, and you're ready to start again. Just don't forget to do the same thing for each one of your lists if you chose to make multiple like I did. And one more really cool feature I just had to mention is that you can easily share your list with a member of your family and both work off the same list. I don't get any payment or reward for showing you this app. I just really do like it. Here's their website and you can see that most features are available on the free version with a few exceptions, like you can't use it on a desktop or laptop, you can't use the folder feature, and you can't add photos to an item. Just a few other things, like you can't use it with an Apple Watch. But the free version has plenty to offer and I think it will be more than enough for making an RV list. And yes, of course I'm going to share my list with you. In the description below, you will find a link to the printable checklist that we used to use, which is downloadable and editable. You will also find the list I used to create my digital version on AnyList. See you out there.